yeah, basically since I was a child, I've always liked, doing, science fiction and everything else. And I used to do fine art, the traditional stuff, you name it, figures, portraits, whatever. I still do. It's just that doing this traditional science fiction,
right,
and actually revisiting some of the classic masters, of science fiction, like Chris Foss or John Berkey, Sid Mead, my idol.
Yeah. Oh, that stuff was brilliant.
Sort of thing. And,
right.
And then on the other side you got Frank Frazetta, who inspires
doing the fantasy art, the fantasy art,
yeah,
like the Conan.
Yeah, and exactly. So all the fantasy artists of the 80s and 70s who really inspire me feed into my artwork. Being formally trained as an artist, and going to school for it, it just tells me, just go with your gut, go with your feeling. And so I went back to my childhood love and creating these paintings. Even the album covers from the 70s.
Yeah, yeah, had a lot lot of those.
I missed that.
You know, Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
That was H.R. Geiger.
Yeah, Geiger.
Yep. I'm a huge fan of H.R. Geiger, and you know, you can see it in some of my work, and you know, that sort of thing. Or Roger Dean, who I've met several times, who I had all his posters on my wall when I was growing up, and you know, things like that. So you know, Mouse and Kelly, who did Journey. So I remember looking at these albums, when I was during the 70s, and just open up a double gate wall and just staring at Bernie Hogarth's work, or you know, even the Nagas for Pink Floyd and stuff like that, and just being so inspired for all those pieces. And that's why I tell artists today, is like, we got to go and look at the past and libraries, and you know, you can't go to Google and the cloud and get all the information.
I think a lot of artists. I think a lot of artists these days are just trying to copy each other of like what's popular.
Yes.
And there's a lot of, and I like it to some degree, but pop culture art.
Yeah.
You know, like they're taking cartoons and stuff like that and commercials. And I wonder sometimes if there's too much of that. Like at first it was kind of cool,
right? And
now it's like everybody's doing it, and how many versions of McDonald's, Ronald McDonald or whatever can you have?
Right. Well, it's called appropriation, and there's a point where appropriation becomes just boring, and you know, it's almost offensive and rude, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And what I really don't like is what they call deconstructionism now, where they take art and they destroy it. You know, and they think it's cool, and it's, you know, it's a new thing, and really it's just destroying art.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
You know, and so you know, taking a great master's work and painting over it, and saying, "Aren't I cool?" No, you're not.
No,
you're cool when you create something that no one else has done.
Right.
You know, and that's when people go, "I've never seen that before."
Well, that's what I like about this stuff. As I said before, I love the fact that it's. It reminds me of the cover art from when I was a kid, from all those books, and you're right.
I read a lot of those covers, Isaac Asimov.
Oh, those Asimov, books and stuff like that, and it was very like, I think, optimistic. Yeah. And a lot of sci-fi these days is very pessimistic. It's always like the robots are going to come and kill everybody.
Right, and that's why my cities you see here are very optimistic, you know, because there's beautiful cities that are ergonomically designed.
Right.
And they generate their own power. These are wind turbines in here that generate their own powers and everything else, and in harsh environments. It depends on the environment. Like, you know, for instance, this is a good example here. A city that is, you know, indigenous to this planet, but you can see the people partying in disco clubs. They're having a great time.
I like that. You're right. You can see like they're having.
And this actually, it was inspired by ELO's Out of the Blue album cover. The artist that did that. What amazes me when they did that kind of work, that was done with airbrush. Right. You know, and that's what's so amazing. And I do airbrush too, but this is this actually is hand painted on Cintiq on Photoshop. Okay. Whereas, and it takes just as long as an oil painting. Right. The only thing is you get just a lot more fine, sharp detail. You can zoom in and you can get a lot of stuff inside. Exactly. You can cheat a little bit on that. Whereas an oil painting, you have to really kind of. But I now just started painting on board. So now at board, I can actually cheat and get really, really detailed, fine line. Right. And that's where a lot of these illustrators are now doing that. They're really creating these really sharp, fine lines. So the competition is fierce. The artwork's out there. It's amazing, but it is a lot of digital artwork versus hand-painted oils, which you don't see a lot of. Exactly. And again, it's like walking around the convention. It's mostly pop art, or it's dark and dreary and you know, kind of depressing. And I like the optimistic. You don't see that much.
you know, like Star Trek: The Next Generation, I think was the last positive type sci-fi really to come on TV. After that, it all went to like Battlestar Galactica remakes that were, you know, you're fighting and dying and.
You know, that's true, and I always wanted to do that. It's like seeing a future that solves some problems.
Right.
They should, you know, because if you give them that vision, then my hopes and my dreams is like, for instance, there's another is this one here. My hope and dream is that
wow, I love the colors.
This is based on Nikola Tesla's theories of drawing energy from the Earth's magnetic sphere core. And at the same time, these giant wind turbines, when wind hits them, gets trapped inside these buildings, and it gets more and more constricted. As it does, it generates power, and that power gets generated, shot up into the atmosphere, either from magnetic core from the Earth, and then the next thing you know, you get this whole, basically. What's called wireless transmission of electricity. And this is what Nikola Tesla tried to prove to the world.
Right, that he could generate electricity through, but he could beam it.
Yes.
He could beam it.
We wouldn't need power, we wouldn't need power lines, and with beaming, you wouldn't have resistance.
Right.
With resistance, it costs money.
Right, and you also have to have the copper.
Yes.
And third world countries, people steal the copper.
Exactly.
Because there's value to it.
Right, and it's very dangerous, and fire hazard, everything else. Tesla was way ahead of his time, and it was Westinghouse and J.P. Morgan that shut him down because they were making too much money from his inventions.
Right.
So it's sad that, you know, if we had listened to Tesla, you wouldn't have a power bill.
Right.
Because he had invented a little box back then for the small houses. He had invented a little box. You wind it up a little bit, create resistance, and that would generate your house for a day. Power. Now, you probably have a bigger house.
Yeah.
Do a little work.
Yeah.
But that sort of thing. But yeah, get a little workout. You know, get the resistance up, wind it, just like the flashlights you wound, same thing. And then that's the worst case scenario. Second case scenario, you have the Earth's magnetic sphere and everything else, you know, and things like that. So he was way ahead of his time, and you know, just brilliant. He's one of my inspirations. Grew up with Tesla since I was 5 years old. My father, being an electrical engineer, told me all about the power of lightning.
Right.
You could harness the power of lightning. You could charge a city for a day. You know, things like that. You know, just very interesting theories.
Well, it was cool talking to you.
You too.
You see, like, some other people want to...
Yeah. Since you are doing a blog, by the way, you can go ahead and take
all right.
Some people just come out.
Yeah, they just want to, crop it or whatever.